Now everybody stand up and rejoice with one voice.
Donald Trump claims the investigation into Russian meddling in the recent election is a hoax. This is a lie. Let me explain. The Russians hacked the DNC computers and stole damaging information about Hillary Clinton. They probably got everything they needed in one hack, but they did not release it all at once. Instead, they used a common marketing strategy known as a drip campaign. They fed their stolen information to their mule WikiLeaks drip by drip. WikiLeaks then fed the information to the American voters, drip by drip. The Donald likes to claim there is no evidence the Russians meddled with the voting machines. The Russians didn't have to mess with the machines. They messed with the minds of the voters. Marketing professionals know that it takes several exposures for consumers to accept a marketing message. That's why you see the same ad running again and again. The Russians knew this. That's why for months you saw new revelations about Hillary and other Democrats almost every day. The result is history. How many people either voted for Trump or stayed home on election day because the Russian drip campaign had convinced them not to vote for Hillary? Robert Mueller is investigating the Russian attack on our democracy to determine if the Trump campaign colluded with the attack. Vlad the Invader and his army of trolls did not need Trump's people to carry out the attack. Russian expertise in political espionage makes the Trump campaign look like Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm. There has been a lot of talk about the meeting Trump Jr., Manafort, and Kushner had with the Russian agents. All the Russians needed from Curly, Moe, and Larry was assurance that their campaign would result in favorable treatment once Trump was elected. Once that was assured, the Russians simply cranked up their drip campaign. Vlad the Invader had two purposes in conducting the campaign. First, he wanted revenge against Hillary for her opposition to his re-election in 2012. And second, he knew that Trump was a total neophyte when it comes to government. He knew that Trump's bombastic style and lack of finesse would cripple American diplomacy and weaken opposition to Vlad's attempts to re-establish the Soviet Union. He also knew that he could derail the Trump presidency at any time by releasing information he had gathered from Trump's attempts to establish real estate holdings in Russia. If you have ever tried to get a mortgage or business loan, you know that banks require evidence of credit worthiness. This would include tax returns, profit and loss statements, balance sheets, and other documents. I am certain that these were required by the banks Trump dealt with in his real estate endeavors. We know these banks are controlled by the Kremlin. If the banks have this information, Vlad has it. Trump probably knows this. This is why he is trying to divert attention away from the Russia investigation. If Vlad was to release this, it would make the Trump University scandal look like chump change. This is why I say that the claims of a Russian hoax and fake news are a lie. From the start, he has used the words of P.T. Barnum as his business model. P.T. Barnum was famous for sayings such as, "There's a sucker born every minute," and "No man ever went broke," overestimating the ignorance of the American public. Trump has succeeded by playing to the lowest common denominator. His voters are the people who not only consider their velvet painting of Elvis as fine art, they think it talks to them. If that sounds harsh, remember the immortal words of Forrest Gump. Stupid is as stupid does. If you do stupid stuff, don't be surprised when people call you an idiot. It's time we show the Donald and Vlad the Invader that we are smarter than they give us credit for.